Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Gary. If this is the first time you're here, make sure you have Scratch open and running, just like I have. We are going to get started in about 6 minutes. So if you haven't been here before, make sure you, yes. So just like Jeremy, who has put his hand up, if you have a question, make sure you press the raise hand button, and then what I'll do is I'll let you talk. Jeremy, you have a question?
Hi, Gary. It's Jeremy's dad. Sky
Hi.
here. Morning.
Morning.
Just a quick question. So we got a computer installed with the software, it's the Scratch, and then we use iPad to view your video. Is that okay, or we should put it on one computer?
No. That's good. So I have one computer to code, and the other the iPad to watch the video is perfect.
Okay.
That is ideal. Thanks very much for that. Well done. Welcome to the class, Jeremy.
Do you remember Joshua?
Yes, I do. Excellent.
So Jeremy's just brother. Okay, anyway, you can put us on mute now. Thank you. Thanks, Gary.
No problems. Thank you. Thank you very much. So just like Jeremy, if you have any questions or anything like that, you just press the raise hand button and then speak in a big loud voice so that everyone can hear your question. Don't be shy. If you want, you can also send me a question through the Q&A button below, and then you just type your question out to me. Okay. And just like what Jeremy suggested, it is best to watch the webinar with a separate device and then use a computer to do the coding. That way, you don't have to keep switching between windows. If you don't have more than one device, then that's okay. You just put a window up of the meeting behind and then switch between the windows as you go through the lesson. We have 4 minutes before the lesson starts. We are getting closer and closer now. There's a whole bunch of people who have just joined, so welcome to the stream. Today we're going to do a little bit of a harder game than we did last few weeks. So I hope you have your thinking caps on, and make sure you ask me questions if you come up with any. Okay. But even if you don't follow, even if you had to go to the bathroom or if you've internet has dropped out for any reason, that's still okay. All you have to do is try your best to catch up, but even if you can't catch up, I will save this video for a week so that you can still watch it after the class. Okay, and also if you want the file that I'm using for the video, then make sure you ask your mum and dad to send me an email and say, hey, I had trouble creating my game, can I borrow your file? And then what I'll do is I'll send you the file. Okay, but make sure you ask your mum and dad before I send you the file. Like I said, if you are missing the class for any reason, if you had to jump out, use the bathroom, or if you had to, your internet lost connection, don't worry. I will save the video that we are recording right now, and we will make sure it is available online for about a week. So you can still view the video. Okay, welcome to the stream, guys. My name is Gary, and if it's the first time you're using Zoom, then down the bottom of Zoom, there is a bunch of buttons, okay? You press on the Q&A button to type out your question to me, and when I have a chance, I will try to respond to you as quick as I can. If you want to speak with me, then you press the raise hand button, and I will then let you talk on the microphone. Make sure you unmute your microphone and then you turn down the volume of any music and televisions around you. That's so that we can hear your voice nice and clearly. If you have any issues running your file, don't forget to watch the video after the lesson. I will post the link to your mums and dads. And if you want to use the file that I used, then ask your mum and dad to email me and then I will send you. It is 59 past. We are almost ready to get started. We still have a few people who have planned to come but have not joined us. I'm just going to give 1 more minute for those people to join. All right. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so right now you should make sure that you have Scratch installed and running. Okay, so in case you haven't had Scratch installed, quickly go to scratch.mit.edu/download. Scroll down to the right version of computer that you're using. So if you're using a Windows computer, go hit Windows. If you're using an Apple computer, go to Mac OS. Whichever version you're using, make sure you go to Direct Download. Download the file. This is for Scratch. And then run the file. That will install Scratch Desktop for you. And then when you run Scratch Desktop, this is what you will see. You are going to see a blank screen in the middle. This is our coding area. On the right-hand side, we have a bunch of coding blocks, and then you can scroll up and down to go through all the different blocks that you have. And the whole idea of Scratch is that we can control these blocks by dragging them onto the screen like that and attaching them to each other, okay? On the right-hand side, we have the cat, okay? We just leave that cat alone for now. We're going to use him today's lesson. And then down the bottom, we have a cat here as well. So this is the list of sprites that we have. And then down the bottom here, this is where we choose a sprite if we want to add sprites. And down here is where we add backdrops. We change the background, okay? All right, we are getting really, really close. All right, let's get started. Whoops. All right. G'day, if you just joined us, welcome to the stream. It is looking like most people are already here. If you have a question, make sure you hit the button down below, the Q&A button, and then type out your question to me, or you can raise your hand and then you can talk to me. If you miss any of the lesson and you are stuck, don't worry, because I'm recording this video right now, and after the lesson, I'll make sure that the video is available for about a week for your mums and dads to watch, okay? And then you can follow the lesson again and not miss out on anything. If you have any problems running your file, then all you have to do is send me an email and I will email you the file back. Okay, just ask your mum and dad to email me and then I can email the file back. Make sure you ask your mum and dad, okay? All right, fantastic. We are 2 minutes past, we will now get started. All right, so in this picture behind me, this is the men's 100 meter race, okay? Does anybody want to raise their hand and tell me who this person is? Who this person is in the yellow? Who wants to raise their hand and tell me who that yellow shirted person is? No? Well, this man, his name is called Usain Bolt, okay? And he is the world's fastest man, okay? Usain Bolt holds 2 world records, okay? So a world record is it is a record, okay? So it means that you have run a certain distance, the fastest that anybody in the world has ever run before, okay? So he runs he holds 2 world records. One is the 100 meter men's races, okay? Men's 100 meters, and he ran that distance in 9.58 seconds, okay? Which is really, really, really fast, okay? And then he also holds the 200 men's running as well. So he is a very, very fast man. Okay, so every 4 years there is something called the Olympics, and then in the Olympics, that's where all the countries come together and they send their fastest, their strongest, their most talented people to come together and do these sporting competitions. And one of the races that they do is called the 100 meter dash. Okay, the 100 meter race goes for exactly 100 meters. So if you have an oval in your school, usually the oval, if you run all around the side of the oval, is around about 400 meters, okay? But if you run just one side of the oval, just the straight line down one side, that is around about 100 meters. Okay, so if you want to see how fast you are compared to Usain Bolt, maybe one day when you can go outside, then you can try to run 100 meters and ask your mom and dad to time you. Okay, see if you can beat the world record, which is 9.58 seconds. Okay, it is very, very fast. So if you can beat the world record, make sure you let me know. Okay, all right. So why are we talking about Usain Bolt? It's because today we are going to make a little bit of a racing game. Okay, we're going to make a game where you're going to fire off a gun, you go bang, and then you're going to watch some characters on the screen race from one side of the screen to the other. And then you are going to make it so that you never know who is going to win. It's going to be slightly randomized, but it's still going to be super action-packed. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we're going to change our backdrop. So let's go into Scratch. And then I was talking about a school oval before. So let's switch our backdrop by going down to the bottom. So that was really fast. So you move your mouse all the way down to the bottom right-hand corner, and it says choose a backdrop. Okay, choose a backdrop. And then we click it. And then we want some place that looks like a school oval, like the back of a school oval. And then we want it so that we can race from one side to the other. Okay, so I'm thinking playing field looks really, really good. Okay, playing field is going to be good if you want to use a playing field. If you want to use a hay field, that's also good. A field at MIT, that's also good as well. Okay, so I'm going to use playing field. Now we have our cat who is getting ready to run in the playing field. Yes, you've got a question?
Yeah. I just wondered, are you also allowed to do a soccer court?
Yes, you can. You can do a soccer court as well. So you can make it so that it looks how you like. All right. So we start off with a soccer field, and now this time, what I want you to do is I want you to click twice. Okay. So you see the arrow of my my pointer. When I click on, oops. When I click on Sprite 1, it's going to flash up with this cat, okay? You see how the border of the cat flashes? Okay, that's something really important. We're going to make sure you know how to check the border all the time, okay? To check to make sure you have the right thing selected. But before we do any coding on the cat, we are going to do some code on the backdrop. So we haven't done the backdrop before. So we click on the backdrop, and then you're going to see on the top right corner, there's a little version of the backdrop. Okay, because we're going to add some code on the backdrop. Okay, so after you've clicked on the backdrop, then we go into events, and then we want when flag clicked. When flag clicked. Now this is going to be what's going to tell our characters in the middle of the field when it's time to reset the game. So make sure you have your flag, when flag clicked on the backdrop. So you have a picture of the backdrop in the middle here. And then inside events, we wanted to go broadcast a message. But instead of broadcasting message 1, like down here, you click on this arrow. And then you go new message. So you go broadcast instead of message 1, you go new message. And then this message is reset game. Reset game. Make sure you practice your typing skills as well. R-E-S-E-T is reset, and game is G-A-M-E. Then we press OK. After we go reset, broadcast reset game, we drag it onto the flag. Okay, going good so far. We don't have any questions. That's good. If you have a question, and I'm in the middle of saying something, then try to hang back, and then I will try to answer you as soon as I can. All right, so now we have the nice and easy part done, okay? So now we are going to press on the cat. See, when you press on sprite 1, you don't have the backdrop in the corner anymore. You have the cat in the corner, okay? Now, I want you to drag your cat onto the side of the screen, just like that, okay? So drag it by pressing the mouse and then pulling it all the way to the side, like that. That is how we are going to make sure that the cat starts at the start of the screen. And then we want to make it so that it starts in this starting area every time it hears the reset broadcast. So down here, down in events, you say, when I receive reset game, see, when I receive reset game, you drag that over here. Okay. Now, when the backdrop says to reset game, then the cat is going to hear it when it says, when I receive reset game. Okay. When I receive reset game, I'm going to go to this position. So I go to motion up the top, I scroll all the way up to the top, and then I go to X, Y. Go to X, Y, and it's got two numbers in here. You just leave those numbers the same. You go to X, Y. Let's make sure that the cat is all the way up the top here before you drag it in. So if you didn't drag your cat up the top, then have a look at those numbers. It should be minus 100 and something, and Y is around 30 something. Okay, it doesn't have to be absolutely precise, but you don't have to enter those numbers if you've already dragged your cat to the top. Okay. All right, now we're going to keep broadcasting lots of messages in this game because this game is quite complex. Okay, so now I need another event. When this sprite is clicked, okay, when this sprite is clicked, what am I going to do with this cat when I click it? I'm going to make it so that we start the game, we start the race. Okay, so when this sprite is clicked, we're going to broadcast another message. So here we have broadcast reset game, but we don't want to reset the game again when we click on him. We wanted to change the message to a new message. And this message is start race. Okay. So you're going to broadcast reset game here. But instead of reset game, we change it to new message. And then we call it start race. Like I said, if you're missing any of the lesson, if you're struggling to type and catch up, then don't worry because I'm going to save this video and then you can watch it for the next week. Okay. So we go start race, S-T-A-R-T, space R-A-C-E, and then we go okay. And then we drag start race, broadcast start race onto when this sprite is clicked. Okay. Going good so far. Anyone got any questions so far? Yes. Do you have a question? No?
Slow down because I didn't really catch up with you.
I'm going to try and do it as slow as possible, but we'll try to catch up as fast as you can, okay? All right. So when this sprite clicked, we broadcast start race. And to make it broadcast start race, we go broadcast down here, and then we click the arrow, and then we go new message, and then you type out start race. All right. When this sprite is clicked, we broadcast start race. And now we're going to handle what it does when we do start the race. Okay. So when we go, when I receive reset game, we change it to when I receive start race. When I receive start race. Then I drag. When I receive start race over here, then we are going to do all our code for running down here. Okay. All right, before we add our code for running, we're going to add a finish line to our game. Okay, so this is the code for the cat. You can see that we have the cat selected. We have the cat on the top left here, top right here. And we have these coding blocks, okay? Make sure you 100% have, when I receive reset game, we go to this area, XY. When this sprite is clicked, we broadcast start race. And when I receive start race, that is blank so far, okay? All right, to add the finish line, we're going to go to add a sprite. So you go choose a sprite. And then I want you to type line. So it's L-I-N-E, line. And then this is the red line that we have to choose. Click on the red line. But the red line is going sideways. We don't want it going sideways. We want it going up and down. So make sure you have the line selected, and then you click on direction. Click on direction, and then you drag the arrow so that we rotate it all the way down, like that. And then we can now drag the line onto the side here. That way we have a finish line and we have a cat. Okay. So make sure you have the line, you dragged it so that the direction is facing up and down. So you click on the line and then you click on direction and then you drag it around by dragging this, this direction arrow. Okay, so now we have the line, finish line, and then we have a cat. All right, now we go back to the cat. Click on the cat. When I receive start race, what do I want the cat to do? Well, what I want the cat to do first is we want to make it go back to the starting position. So to go back to the starting position, remember we already made it. When I receive reset game, we go to the starting position. So when I start the race, I have to broadcast reset game. So you go into events, and then you go broadcast reset. We don't. Yes, we go broadcast reset game. That way, when I click on this, click on the cat, we also go back to the start position. Okay. When we go to the start position, now we're going to race. We're going to go and give it a forever loop. So we go into control. And then we give it a forever loop. And then in this forever loop, we want it to take a step every 0.1 seconds. Okay. So we go wait 0.1 over here. So go into control. There is a wait something seconds. So you change that, whatever that number is, to 0.1. So the point is the dot on your keyboard. So look for a dot on your keyboard. So we go wait 0.1. And then we drag it inside the forever loop. Drag it inside the forever loop. And then we are going to go make it take a step forward. So we go into motion. And then we go change X by 10. But instead of 10, we change it to 5. Change X by 5, and that's in motion. So every 0.1 seconds, it's going to move forward by 5 little points, okay? Going well so far, going nice and slowly so that everyone can follow. because this class is for 7 to 9-year-olds. There's going to be people who are towards 9 years old, and there's people closer to 7 years old. So some people are going to struggle with typing. So that's still no problem. Make sure we follow as close as we can. All right, so the next part. After we have moved our step by 5, we need to make sure that we stop the race once we reach the end, okay? Once we reach the end, we need to be able to stop the race and make sure that we don't run anymore, okay? So this is what we're going to do. So we go change x by 5, and then we're going to go and put an if block inside the forever loop. So go into control, and then we want to do an if then block. So this one here, if then. See it? If then. And then we drag it so that it's just after change x by 5. If we are touching the line, then we stop the race. That's the whole idea, is we go, if we touch the line, then we stop the race. So we go if, and then inside this hexagon, we need sensing, because that's where we sense if we touch the line. We go sensing. It says touching mouse pointer, but we don't want touching mouse pointer. If we want touching line, so touching, and then you hit the arrow, and then we choose line, and when we put that inside the hexagons. If we're touching the line, then we're going to broadcast another message to say that the race is over, okay? So if we're touching the line, we're going to broadcast another message. If you know how to do the broadcast already, then you can skip ahead and start doing the broadcast. But after we touch the line, we have to do 2 things. We have to say we're broadcasting that the race is over, and then also we're going to have our cat say, I won the race, okay? So if we are touching the line, we go into events. So scroll back to events, or you can press the yellow button to go to yellow blocks to go to events. When it's touching the line, we broadcast, but instead of broadcasting reset game, we're going to broadcast new message. Okay, we're going to broadcast another new message. Broadcast, instead of reset game, we're broadcasting a new message, and this new message is race over. Okay, to tell all the people who are racing that the race is over. And then we press OK. Okay. Now it's got broadcast race over is now on the left hand side here. We drag it to inside when it touches the line. And then lastly, the second thing we need to do when we touch the line is we say that the race is over because we already have a winner. And then the second thing is we have to get our cat to show that he's happy. So we go into looks, scroll all the way up to looks, these purple ones. And then we go say, I won, for 2 seconds. So you go say, I won for 2 seconds, and then we drag that onto here, broadcast the race is over, and then say, I won for 2 seconds. All right, so now I'm going to test my code. So when I click on my cat, it's going to start running across the screen. And then it touches the end, and then it says, I won, which is just perfect because that is exactly what we wanted cat to do. Any questions so far? If your cat is not running and touching the screen, touching the end and saying I won, then let me know. Yolanda, you have a question?
Yeah.
Is it working?
When it reaches the line, it just keeps on going and screaming, I won.
Ah, very good. So that is correct because there is one broadcast that we haven't handled yet. Do you know which one we haven't handled?
To stop?
That's right. So that's the race over broadcast. So we are going to do that afterwards. So after you after it runs off the edge, then you press the flag again, and then it will go back to the start. And then we'll handle the race end. Okay. Well done. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah. I've done all of it, but every time I press go, it doesn't move and it doesn't say I won.
So
That.
So you press on the cat to make it go?
Oh, I got it.
You got it? So make sure you copy all the code that I have. You see how when we press the flag, we just reset the game. We put the cat back to the starting position. But then when we click on the cat, that's when we start the race, okay?
Whoa, it's just continually going on.
So make sure down the bottom here, you go, if it's touching the line, then we broadcast that the race is over. And then say I won for 2 seconds. Okay?
Race over.
No problems. So now, to stop the cat from keeping on running off the edge, you press the flag again to move it back to the start, and then we're going to continue on with our coding, okay? All right, very good. Everybody's following very well today. I'm very, very, very impressed. Okay, because this is a very hard bit of code. There's a lot of code here. So now, we are going to handle the broadcast for race over. So we're going to go to events. Go to events. And then we scroll down to when I receive reset game. But instead of when I receive reset game, we're going to handle the race over. So we're going to handle, change reset game to race over. So we click on the arrow and then we go race over. So when I receive race over. And then we're going to start another new line of code. Okay. So when I receive race over, we have to put it on a completely new line over here. What are we going to do when we receive race over? Very, very simple. We're going to control. Okay. And then I go stop instead of stop all, but instead of stop all, we click on the arrow and we go stop other scripts in this sprite. Okay. So stop is in control. Stop, instead of stop all, we stop all other scripts in this sprite. So a script is one of these lines of code, okay? So this is a script. When I receive reset game, this is another script, this is another script, okay? So we want, when the race is over, to stop everything from working, okay? And that way we tell the sprite to stop what you're doing, the race is over. So make sure we go stop all other scripts in the sprite and then drag it to when I receive race over. So now, when I start the race, when I click on the cat, it's going to go run, 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 run. And then once it reaches this line, it says I won, and it's going to stop moving. Okay. How are we doing so far? How you doing, mate? Sorry, what was your name again?
Ryan.
Ryan. What's your question, Ryan?
Your bed. I started at the same time as you, and then yours just finished before me.
Yeah. So the reason is because the game runs based on the computer speed as well. So some computers will run a little bit faster, some will run a little bit slower. Okay.
Oh.
No problem. Very good, Ryan. All right. So now, before we add more people to the race, I want to ask everyone, what do you think will happen if I copied more of these cats down below? If I copied this exact cat down below, will you be able to? What's going to happen if we copied this cat? What's going to happen if we copied this cat a few times? Yun, you haven't asked anything before. What do you think will happen if I copy the cat a few times?
If you copy the cat a few times, all of the cats will all say, I win.
That's right. So the problem, if I copy this cat each time, Yun, that is fantastic, Yun, by the way. If I copy this cat, then every single cat is going to run at exactly the same speed. All right? And that's going to be a problem for a racing game because it's not going to be very fun if all the cats are running at the same speed and going to the finish line and everyone wins at the same time, right? So who wants to have a go of telling me how I can make it so that the cats don't run at the same speed? Yes, Ryan?
You also forgot about the line that we had on the Sprite one. And we haven't done any on the line.
We don't need to do the line because we've already added the code for when we touch the line over here, remember?
Oh yeah.
Very good, very good observation there, Ryan. Very good. Kevin, what's your idea?
To just change the speed.
Change the speed. Whereabouts do I change the speed, Kevin? Can you point out which script here do I have to change?
The weight thing.
Very good. So we got the change weight by 0.1 seconds here. And also we can change this, right?
Yeah.
The X value. Excellent work, Kevin. So Kevin is exactly right because when you're calculating speed, like how fast you're going, there's two things you can change, okay? The first thing is to change how fast you are going, how much time it takes to go somewhere, right? So the smaller the time, the faster you're going to get somewhere, right? The other thing is how much distance you cover each step, right? So the bigger step that you take, the faster you're going to get there as well. So there's distance and there's time, and both these things you can change to make you go faster or slower, okay? So for our code, we're going to try and make it so that instead of going a fixed distance, we're going to randomize the distance so that it's not going to go at a fixed length of time all the time. So you have to look at Usain Bolt over here. He can go a huge amount of distance with every single step, right? But he doesn't take that same distance of a step every single step, right? It's not like a machine where he goes, okay, I'm going to take exactly a 2 meter long step each time, right? Sometimes he goes a bit further, sometimes he goes a bit shorter, sometimes a bit further, but mostly he's going further because he's the fastest man on earth, right? But a lot of normal people, you take a step and it's not necessarily the same as the other step. So we're going to make it a little bit random, Okay, so let's have a look at this. So to make it random, all we have to do is change this part here where it says change x by 5. What we're going to do here now is we're going to randomize it. Okay, so we're going to go into randomize it. Who wants to tell me how we do random? How can we do a randomization? Who wants to raise their hand and have a guess? Maybe somebody who has been to one of the trial classes, they can tell me. No, that's okay. So random is in operators. Okay, I know it's a little bit hard, this one. Random is in operators. And for random, I want you to go pick random 1 to 10. But instead of 1 to 10, we want to change it to 1 to 5. That way, sometimes he'll take a step that is only one pixel in distance, and sometimes he'll take a step that's 5 pixels in different distance. Okay. That way we can make it so that sometimes he goes a little bit further, and sometimes he goes a little bit shorter. So go pick random 1 to 5. And then we replace the change x by 5. Okay. Now, when we click on our cat, you're going to notice that sometimes he's going to take bigger steps and sometimes he'll take smaller steps. So you press on the cat. Here we are. Sometimes it takes bigger steps and sometimes it takes smaller steps. And you'll notice that, that he'll move to the red line a little bit slower than before, because before we were making sure he was taking a length of 5 pixels every single step. But now he can take much longer than that. Sometimes he'll take a step of 1 pixel instead. And that means that he's going to move a lot slower than he was going to move before. We are almost ready to run this race. Okay, so oops, I've clicked on the cat again and it's gone all the way back to the start. And then he's going to run all the way to the line, right? Just like that. Ryan, what's your, everything okay?
Yeah, I did it at the same time, and this time I won.
Oh, fantastic. Well, now we are going to add some animation now to the cat, because one of the things is that the cat right now is looking like it's frozen, right? And it's just moving and it's frozen. But now we want to make it look like it's moving his arms and legs a little bit. So how do we change it so that it moves his arms and legs a little bit? We're going to look at his costumes, okay? So let's have a look at our costumes. So we have that cat selected. We click on costumes and then you'll see there's 2 costumes already. One with the cat like this and the other one with the cat like this. So it's slightly moving, right? So we want to make it so that the cat is switching between these costumes over and over and over again. Okay, so let's go back to our code. And then who wants to tell me how we make it so that the cat is switching costume? Which block do we use for switching costume? Ethan, haven't heard you before. How are you doing, Ethan? How do we change a costume?
You press in the looks.
Press in the looks.
And then you can see switch costume to cat B or the next costume.
Good, very good. So while you're on the microphone, Ethan, where should I put next costume? If I want to switch it to the next costume, where on my script do you think I should put it?
maybe like after change X by pick random 1 to 5.
Fantastic. Excellent work, Ethan. Well done. So if you heard what Ethan said, this is his suggestion. We go add next costume, this block here inside looks. We go next costume, put it inside change X by the random, and then we put next costume in directly after it. And now when we click on the cat, it's going to make a little bit of a hopping motion all the way to the finish line. And now it's looking more interesting because the cat is moving, it's not frozen, right? And how long is he going to take? Yeah, he says, I won. Okay. Fantastic. How you doing, Ryan? Going okay?
I started before yours, so something to the space.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now we are going to press the flag. Make sure you press the flag and don't start the race, okay? Because we're going to now copy all this code on another cat, okay? But we don't want to spend all that time copying one block after another, and after another. It's like, this is the hard way, okay? We could just go choose a sprite, and then we can make sure that the cat is selected, and then we move all the blocks, copy all the blocks. But I want to make it so that we just make it exact copy really quickly. How do I do that? Yuan, do you have an idea?
Yes. Maybe you could just don't copy all of them, just copy a little bit of them.
Well, that's a good suggestion, Yuan, but unfortunately we need every bit of this code for all our races, otherwise they won't be able to do the race. So Ethan, what's your idea? How can we make a copy?
You right click the mouse on the code, and there's a duplicate. There's duplicate, and you press it, and then you can put it on another character.
Excellent, Ethan. Well done. So Ethan is right. So all you have to do is move your mouse pointer. You see my mouse pointer? Make sure we have the cat selected down here, and then we right click on this cat, and then there's a duplicate button that pops up. Okay, so we need to right click and then duplicate. Now, I know some people are on their using a trackpad on their computer. The right click button is either the click on the right corner, bottom right corner of your trackpad, or if you're using an Apple computer, you have to click with 2 fingers on the trackpad. Okay, make sure you can see this duplicate button pop up on the menu. Okay, if you can't see the duplicate button, let me know. Raise your hand right now. Yuan, you can't see the duplicate button?
Yeah, whenever I press the right click one, I can't. There's nothing coming out. Only the cat is blue.
Are you using a mouse or are you using a trackpad?
Mouse.
Mouse. Can you make sure you're using the right hand click button? So it's it's not the button that we're used to clicking. It's the other button.
Oh, done.
Done? Excellent, excellent, Yuan. Ryan, is your duplicate button coming up?
No.
No?
I'm using a mouse. I press on the blue. It's still blue, but I don't see any duplicate button.
So you got to make sure you're using the right mouse button. Are you using a mouse?
Where's the right? Yes, I am. Where's the right button?
So it's not the button that we've been using all the time. We have to use the other button. Ryan, can you see if you can grab your mum or dad to show you where the right mouse button is?
Well, actually, they're doing shopping.
Okay, So Ryan,
Yeah.
so it is. I'll just show you.
What?
Do you see? Do you see me? Do you see me?
Yes, I do. I can't hear you. Done it!
It's a good thing we have a camera. Okay.
Just realized that. So delete or
No. We go duplicate. Okay, but just watch me do it. Okay. All right. Watch me do it. Okay, so we go right click and then we go duplicate. Now we have a second cat that is all the way out, but don't press a thing. Don't touch anything on that cat yet, because this is really important. Okay, this is really important. Don't touch the cat yet. What we need to do, don't touch the cat yet. We need to click on sprite 1. And then it says, go to XY, right? It says go to XY for when it resets game to -189.36 or whatever your numbers are. You click on the new sprite, sprite 2. You have to decrease that number, okay? Decrease that number to -80, the Y number. So go to X is we keep it the same, but Y, we change it to -80 for when resets game. Okay, make sure you do that before we go any further. Okay, but only for that new sprite. We go to XY and we change Y to -80. And that's the only difference for this cat compared to the other cat, because the other cat is going at whatever distance that is, whatever position that is on Y. But for this sprite, we want to make it so that it doesn't go to that exact same place, right? Otherwise, you won't see your runners separate out. So now we press the flag, and now we press on one of the cats, and then they're going to start racing. And you're going to see that if you play this race a few times, you'll see that it's not always the same cat that wins. Sometimes it's the cat on the top, sometimes it's the cat on the bottom. But only the cat that wins, because it touches the line, will say that it won, and it stops the race from continuing on. Okay, so for me, the bottom cat won. Gonna start the race again and again. And then sometimes the bottom cat will be in front for a little bit, but then it will fall behind because the other cat will catch up. And then every now and again, it will change up, okay? So sometimes the top cat wins, sometimes the bottom cat wins. Oh, it looks like the top cat might be starting to win on this one. Oh no, the bottom cat won again. If you want to change the speed to make it faster or slower, so we can change the random numbers, okay? But make sure you do it the same for both the cats, otherwise it's not going to be a fair race. Okay? And that is our racing game. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. Just both of them are going the same. I'm just wondering about something.
I'm sure they're going the same, because they should be going randomly, so it wouldn't be going the same. You watch them until they finish their race.
I am, but I'm trying to move them back so they're together. So it's much harder. But every time I put them together, they just separate.
Yeah, that's because of the position that we set them on the reset game here.
Oh.
So you have to change those numbers if you want to change the starting position, okay?
Yes.
No worries. All right. Have we got any questions so far? Is everybody going okay? Everybody else going okay? So if you want the race to go faster, then you can change the pick random numbers, okay? Maybe between 5 and 10 instead of 1 to 5. But make sure that you change it for both the cats. Otherwise, it's not going to be a fair race, okay? If you don't change it for both the cats, then one cat's always going to go faster than the other, and it's not going to be so much fun. You want to make it so that we have a guess who's going to win this race. And then you can guess, I think it's going to be the top cat this time. And then maybe you ask your mum and dad to have a guess. Who do you think is going to win the race this time? And then each time it's going to have a slightly different outcome. One time, sometimes the cat up the top will win, sometimes the cat on the bottom will win. Okay. All right, we have 10 more minutes. But any questions so far? I'm going to stick around for 10 minutes. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow's lesson, everybody listen here, tomorrow's lesson is going to start about 10 minutes early, okay? We're going to start 10 minutes early and finish 10 minutes early just for tomorrow. So please, everybody, make sure you remember that tomorrow I'll be starting 10 minutes early, okay? It's very important. So write it down on a piece of paper if mum and dad's not here. But if your mum and dad are here, just tell them right now that tomorrow's lesson, only for tomorrow, it starts 10 minutes early. Everything else afterwards, it's going to be the same, but just for tomorrow, it's 10 minutes early, okay? Yolanda, you have a question?
Somehow both of my cats finished at the same time.
Did you not do random?
I did do random.
You did do random for both the cats?
Yes.
Are they doing that for every single race?
No. It's just
No.
this one.
Oh, okay. So sometimes there is a draw, yeah. So so that is possible for them to have a draw. So so sometimes it will be like in racing it's called a dead heat, which means that they're both won at the same time. So that's totally fine.
Okay.
Well done. That's never happened to me before, but with the way we've coded it, it is possible for it to have a draw. Well done. Okay, so that is our game. That is our game. If you want to make it there's a we prompt the user to guess which cat won. We can choose Sprite 1, so our first cat, and then we can say for the first cat, say guess which cat will win the race for 2 seconds. And then we can make it so that when we reset game, the cat will say, guess which cat will win, guess which cat will win the race for 2 seconds. So now when we hit the flag, the cat's going to say, which one are you guessing? And then you race. Oh, whoops. Oh, that's not right. So we go, we're supposed to do something else. Hold on for a second. We're supposed to do that after we go to the, so it's supposed to go after we move the thing for 2 seconds. So so we go to X and Y first and then say, guess which cat will win the race, not the other way around, sorry. All right. And sometimes the cat up the top will win, sometimes the cat down the bottom will win. Whee! Awesome. All right. Any questions? Everybody's got their racing game ready and working. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, make sure you ask your mum and dad to send me an email. And if you missed out any of the lesson, I will make sure that I put a recording of this video up online for about a week. And then you can still watch it in your own time. If you have any problems running your code, ask your mum and dad to send me an email and I will email you back the code, okay? Make sure you have to ask your mum and dad first. All right. So this is our game. I hope you guys are having fun. This is a little bit different to, oh, it looks like the bottom cat is going to win this time. It's a little bit tricky because there are so many broadcasting messages, and we need that in order for us to make this race work possible. So what I need you to do before you leave is you go to File, and then go to Save to your computer. Okay, go to File, Save to your computer, and then we name it Racer. Okay, RACER. Maybe Cat Racer. So yeah, Cat Racer, and then we go Save. Okay, it's very important to save. That way we make sure that we have our code so that we don't lose it. Okay, Ryan, how are you doing?
Finished.
All finished. Excellent. So make sure you save your game, okay? Make sure you save your file, okay?
I did.
All right, and don't forget to come 10 minutes early tomorrow, okay, Ryan?
Yep.
No problems. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. Well, that is the end of our lesson. If you have any more questions, I will stick by for another 5 more minutes to answer anything that you might have. But if you have saved all your work and your game is working totally fine, make sure you go show your mum and dad, and I will see you again tomorrow morning, 10 minutes early, okay? Make sure you come back 10 minutes early tomorrow morning, all right? See you later. All right. Yun, you have a question?
When I did file and I said save, and I go out, I can't see anything. I can't see the Cat Racer.
What? Did you go File?
Yes.
And then you go Save to your computer?
Yes.
And then you write down over here, Cat space Racer in file name?
All right, okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you press Save.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's
What is the type?
Sorry?
What is the type?
Don't change the type. Don't change the type.
Okay.
Okay, we know now.
Make sure you save it in a place where you can show your mum and dad after you finish, okay?
Okay.
No problem. Thanks very much, Yuan. Well done. Andrew and Ryan?
I just wanted to ask a question.
Yep.
How do you get out of the scratch after you finish?
What do we get? How do you get out of Scratch?
Yeah.
What I suggest is, did you make sure you save your file? Did you save your file?
Yes, I did.
For sure? Okay.
Yes,
So after you've saved, then you press the little X on the top right-hand corner, okay? But make sure you saved it and make sure you show your mum and dad before you close out of Scratch, okay?
Oh, my mum and dad are here. Got it, Peter Willie. Yahoo!
All right. Thanks very much, Ryan. I hope you enjoyed it. And everybody else, I hope you enjoyed it as well. So that is the end of our lesson. Like I said, any questions, let me know. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 minutes early, okay? 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. I will see you and we'll get started, okay? So until next time, bye-bye. Bye, Ethan. Thanks very much. Bye, Yun. See you later.